Okay, good day. It is time to do some cleaning. Soapy water, fresh water, both as hot as I can make them. I really hate working on dirty, gunky junk. And you could use solvent, you could use brake clean, use everything else like that. But Dawn dish detergent, a little Cascade dish detergent, good rinse of hot water, and then blow them out with air. Nothing's going to rust fast enough to affect anything. And there aren't any harsh enough chemicals in that's going to hurt anything either. So you can get them in, get them out, get them cleaned up, get the junk off them without a whole bunch of crap. I think this engine sometime in its life has had one replacement cylinder head. As you can tell, one's got a lot more wear on it than the other looks like it had been remanufactured or cleaned up in comparison to this one, or vice versa. This one was a replacement and that's the factory one. One of the two. Before I get these in the bath, I'm going to do a quick deglaze on the cylinders. Just with a 300 grit 3-stone hone. So that's the first thing to do. And I'm not really caring about lubing it or oiling it or anything, because all I want to do is get this in here real easy. 7, 8, 9, 10. And break the glaze so I can look for any huge scratches or any blemishes or ridges or anything from it being starved for oil, and just get a new ring surface for the new rings that are going on with the new pistons. The engine kit I got has new pistons, so we're just going to give it a quick shine, break the glaze, get some cross hatches on it so the new rings will seat when it goes together. If you put the new rings in on a surface that has no cross hatch on it, most likely they're going to have a really hard time seating. And you'll have oil control and compression issues just from the fact that the rings didn't seal and seat. New rings on dirty glazed up cylinders just won't seat. I'm just making a quick count of the strokes and trying to keep them even. Not really taking any material out. The battery's slowing down, though. That's a good thing. So. Eight, 9, 10. 8, 9, 10. And last one. It is warmer today here in Idaho. Warmer than typical winter weather, so I'm gonna unplug the heater and lose the jacket for now. I put on my cubbies, my coveralls, but okay. Let's take this over here and get a nice look at the pre-washed cylinder walls. So there's no real depth of material taken out by a quick hone like that. All I did was clean the glaze of used and burnt oil out of the cylinders and get a decent little crosshatch on it to help seat the new rings. Next step is bath time. Fun, fun, fun. So, yes, there's some sensors on here. I'm not too worried about them. Sensors get wet. Sensors are exposed to the elements all the time. But here we go. I really, really hate working on dirty, crappy, junky, nasty other brush. I'll have to hit this with the with the razor blade on the gasket surface. Anyways. Dirt sucks. And greasy dirt sucks even worse. This thing had oil leaks and every damn other thing. If I was really motivated, I'd break out the pressure washer. Give this one a little soak for a few minutes. Let's buzz that off of there. That's in the way. That still had a bearing in it. Nasty. Nasty, nasty, nasty. Of course, there's never any volunteers to help when the crap is crappy and nasty. Apparently I turned my compressor off. pause. Okay, compressor filled up, so back to cleaning. Get a couple bolts out that need to get out. It might not be perfect yet, but it's definitely getting better. Still got a thrust bearing in that one. Now, let's scoop this cardboard over, get this engine stand back out, because I'm going to mount half the block on the engine stand. So, oh, poo. Before it blow it out, I'll mount half the block on here. I'll throw the other one into soak. Good enough for right now. Air nozzle. What I was doing there was the quick down and dirty old-fashioned way to just check the deck of the block for squareness. I wrote down what the spec was. Where was it? On my notebook. Where did I put my notebook? There it is. There's my notebook. So, got the notebook here. Deck. For taper, out of round, piston clearance, green gapped oil, thrust. Anyways, I'm pretty sure this one is just fine. That's the thinnest feeler gauge I have at 0.04 millimeter. So, and it uses good machinist rule straight edge. That's actually straight, no dents in it. And I look for light underneath. If you can see light, there's a gap. I don't see any light. And then I'll use the feeler gauge under the deck, and if it gets stuck, well then there's not a clearance for it. If I put it on the deck and put it underneath and I can't pull it out, then there's less than 0.04 millimeters or 1.5 thousandths, 1.5 thousandths of an inch. So I would call that deck good. Now, to promote good cylinder head sealing, I do another thing. You might agree with it, you might disagree with it. A lot of you will probably disagree with it. But I take my longboard, a good longboard with 200 grit sandpaper or sand cloth, whatever you want to call it. Adhesive sand cloth on the back of it. And this one doesn't have any stray gasket like some of them you end up with or others, but what I want to do is I just want to do a little crosshatch across this deck. And try and do it evenly as possible. Count the strokes. This will also show you if you have any low spots or high spots. If you have a really good longboard, one that's flat, and you keep even pressure, you're not going to take enough material off to affect the deck. If it was already warped, it's still going to be warped. If it's not warped, it's not going to be warped, but you will have a nice, clean sealing surface for your new head gaskets. So, agree or disagree with it, doesn't really matter. I know I've had good luck with it for years doing that. Had really good luck for years and years and years doing it that way. It makes for a nice finish. Actually, let's get a light out. Get it up close for you. Put a light on my head. Take a look and get a nice finish. So now, you can see that 200 grit just touched it up a little bit. Didn't make any big gouges or take any huge material off. You can still see the impression of the old head gasket fire rings under the light. And in the cylinders, you can see a nice crosshatch from that 3-bar stone, or that 3-stone hone. This one's almost dried out. I'm gonna hit it with some more compressed air and then move on to the other half of the block. Okay, so you can see that I have the other half of the block prepped now. And that's the other half. So the next thing to do is to go in the house and get all of my parts and start measuring things. So I'm going to take the new pistons and compare them to the old pistons for diameter. Then I'm going to use the new pistons as a standard to set my digital bore gauge to check for piston side clearance. If that specs out okay, well then we'll move on to setting ring gaps, or at least checking piston ring gaps. Hopefully they'll just be okay right out of the box. And then inspecting the new crankshaft, the 4 new piston rods that I got. That's the one burnt one. And hopefully out of 4, I'll have 3 good ones. Or out of 8, I'll have 4 good ones. But so for right now, it's all nice, clean, shiny, dressed up, ready to go to the party.